So that's what I liked about the Flywheel, that it kind of just gives you like a good framework just to think about, okay, when these things come up, or being a little bit more proactive in sort of the areas that you're spending your time, what you can start to do and actually follow through to implement some of these things. So why don't we jump into that? Like the Flywheel, the 6 steps, and I think you kind of group them in pairs. So the first 2 were like divide and conquer. Second, the 3 and 4 were like design and implement, and then refine and iterate. So let's talk through each one of those. And if you can just explain to us what they mean, why you think this is an important part of the process, that would be great. And maybe even we can kind of touch on some brief examples before we go into deep dive into some of the things that you're actually doing.
So the automation flywheel is a process of continuous improvement. And but it's not just like one thing you do once, and it's not even like something you do for a while and then you stop. It's a flywheel. It's a continuous process. You have to continue doing that, and it's just you have to start somewhere, and you keep doing that, and you get dividends as you get more and more automations, but it helps you build systems. So you start with nothing, and then you have the systems, and then you go from there, and it keeps improving your productivity. But with the automation flywheel, you kind of have to first decide like what you should do and what you shouldn't be doing. Like it's not about just automating everything. I don't think it makes sense to automate everything. I think it makes sense to, look at what you are doing, prioritize what you are doing, and things that you don't care about that you should be automating, and the things that really helps you should stay not automated. For example, like things like growing yourself, like reading books or researching stuff. You shouldn't be automating those things, because it's just when you do those things, you're not just doing something, you're actually learning more stuff. But to get to the actual automation flywheel, it's a circle. It starts with divide and conquer, and the divide step is about looking at what you are doing and deciding what should be automated. And one of the techniques I describe in the book is something I call auditing your workday. So basically, you can put triggers every hour, and at the end of every hour, you can just write down, what you did during that hour, and you do this for a week, and a week is usually enough. That you can find out like how you are spending your time, and you can decide, okay, hey, I shouldn't be spending my time with this kind of stuff, and I should be spending my time with this kind of stuff. Like I should be spending my time with coming up with great ideas for my product, but I shouldn't be spending my time with really, answering these emails. Like those are a waste of time for me. And so you first divide, and then the conquer step is about basically you spot workflows from these work, because the things you do are not just single things. Like they are not just single to-do items. When you look at what you do, you'll find out that you're actually spending your time with things that are like series of tasks, and we call them workflows. And workflows can involve multiple people. So if HR related task is done, like you have to speak with the person, speak with the HR department. Like there are lots of steps involved, and it's not just happening in a single moment. It can take a long time. So the conquer step is about actually understanding the workflows involved. The next step is design and implement. And the design step, you actually decide what you should be automating, like which parts of these workflows can be automated, and which parts should be automated. And in the implementation step, and there are like so many no-code products. You research all the products, and you find the products that really works for you, for your case. And in the book, I described like how to pick products, like, how to use GT for reviews, how to make sure that they have updates, like, and they have a long history and they are trustable. So those kind of things. And then you implement those automations. And in the next step, in the refine step, you create KPIs, and you look at the numbers of your automations, how they are doing. And because when you do things manually, you can actually see if things break down or things are working out well. But when you start automating, you have to actually keep watch, and you have to monitor what's going on. And that requires like keeping an eye on the KPIs, and that requires you to kind of refine the automations you do. And the final step, the sixth step, is to iterate, which is about, if you are doing automations in one way, changing them, innovating your automations, updating them. So it's basically all these automations you're building turn into systems. And these systems require kind of maintenance. But the great thing is, like, you are actually spending most of your time with the stuff that you care about, and only you're only monitoring them so that you're making sure that nothing is breaking down. And the great thing about this, the flywheel, is you don't actually have to even automate things. Like, even if you just use the flywheel's first two steps, divide and conquer. Even if you create like workflow diagrams, and if you document your work, when you are doing that, it's a great exercise. Like, you can actually understand what you are spending your time on the divide step, and in the conquer step, you can actually understand, like, create the workflows, document what you are doing, and you can delegate stuff. Even if you don't automate it, you can delegate it to someone else in your company. So I think this is a great exercise. But I think in the end, you'll find that there are really good automation tools. And there is just like there's this no-code revolution, there's this SaaS revolution. Like, there's just thousands of great products out there, and many people are not even aware of them, and they are actually struggling. And there's an automation tool that's available for them, but they are not even aware of it. So the goal of this automation flywheel is to help people kind of find their way so that they can build their automation and systems.